Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. And this is a little, I don't know if I would call it a tag. There might be elements of a tag here. But this is kind of like me doing like a bit of a wrap up slash bit of a recommendation. So I'm gonna mention books that made me, and then I'm gonna say like books that made me smile, books that made me angry, books that made me laugh, books that made me cry, books that made me surprised. All of these are books that I read this year. So a quick but nice little recommendation, nice video. So, a book that made me smile is Charlie Hernandez and the Phantom of Time. This made me smile several times. It is the fourth in a series, so if you think like, oh, I want to read a book that makes me smile, don't pick up this book, start with the first book. That being said, the whole series is out, so you can pick up the first book, which also made me smile, and then binge the whole series if you want. I recommend that. And then I'm gonna cheat, and I'm also gonna mention a Norwegian book, En lykkelig slutt of Anne Louise Morstedt. So yeah, I read this a few weeks ago now, and it made me smile so much. I had that smile plastered to my face more or less the whole time I was reading it, and yeah, love it, love it, love it so much. Also, FYI, this is coming out in Estonian, in Dutch, in I think it's German. Well, at least in Swedish and Danish. So there's coming versions of this in different languages. So look out for that if you know those uh, those languages. And then a book that made me laugh. Her Night at the Museum by Bryn Donovan made me laugh so much. It also made me cry, smile, but also yeah, I laughed so much at this book with this book. It's yeah, definitely a book that will make you laugh a lot. At least it made me laugh so much. Then we have a book that made me cry. This was a bit difficult, but I did realize that yeah, this book made me cry. Though I suppose honestly, I'm gonna go for again two books here. The first one being Bastille versus the Evil Librarians. This made me cry because it's the last in a series, so I always cry when I read the last books in series. But also, and another point is that it also made me like there was also a part in this book that was sad. So it wasn't just that it was the last book in the series, but it also yeah made me cry because the plot made me cry. Then we have The Martian by Andy Weir. This gave me some happy tears and some sad tears now and then. I mean, just from the plot, and you probably know the plot. This is about a astronaut stranded on Mars, and at points in the book, it seems very bleak. But surprise, he gets rescued. But yeah, and then a book that made me angry, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I read it in Norwegian, so that's why it's this cover. And yeah, at one point, this definitely made me angry. So angry. And a book that made you surprised, Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know. This is a non-fiction book, and some of the things that happen in this book, you might be think, what? What? Is it true? But it is non-fiction. Everything in this book has has for real happened. And that just astounds me and just like what? And yeah, I love that. So yeah. So yeah, that's my little video for today. Hope you enjoyed it and got some tips. And if you want to mention a book that made you smile, angry, laugh, or cry, or made you surprised, feel free to mention it down below in the comments.